The audience erupted into applause as the studio lights illuminated the stage of The View. It was promoted as one of the season's most anticipated episodes. Legendary Broadway stars Patti, Lupone, and Mandy. Patinkin walked onto the set together, smiling warmly as the hosts welcomed them. Joy Behar greeted them with humor, and for the first several minutes, the conversation felt relaxed, filled with laughter and memories from decades in theater. Patti joked about the unpredictable nature of live performances, while Mandy shared stories about the friendships he had built throughout his career. The audience laughed often, enjoying the chemistry between the guests and the hosts. Even Joy appeared genuinely entertained, asking thoughtful questions about Broadway, television, and the changing entertainment industry. As the interview continued, the discussion shifted toward how public figures respond to criticism. Joy mentioned how social media had changed the relationship between celebrities and their audiences. Patti answered that artists should always listen to constructive criticism but should never allow online negativity to define their work. Mandy agreed, explaining that performers spend years developing their craft and that instant judgments often ignore the dedication behind every performance. Joy leaned forward with another question. Do you think entertainers sometimes take criticism too personally? The audience became noticeably quieter. Patti smiled politely before answering. I think every artist is different. Some people grow stronger because of criticism. Others simply learn when to stop listening. Joy nodded but continued. What about disagreements between actors themselves? Should audiences know more about what really happens behind the scenes? Mandy exchanged a brief glance with Patti before responding. I've always believed that creative differences belong where they happen, inside rehearsal rooms, not necessarily in public. The audience applauded. Joy continued exploring the subject, asking whether honesty with fans sometimes required discussing difficult personal experiences involving colleagues. Patti's smile slowly faded. She carefully placed her hands together and replied calmly. There is a difference between honesty and inviting unnecessary conflict. The atmosphere in the studio became noticeably more serious. Joy explained that viewers often appreciate complete transparency from well-known performers. Patti responded with confidence. Transparency doesn't always mean sharing every private conversation. Several audience members applauded again. Mandy added that respect remains essential even when people disagree. He explained that long careers are built not only on talent but also on trust between colleagues. Joy acknowledged his point but asked whether avoiding certain topics sometimes leaves fans with unanswered questions. For several seconds no one spoke. The silence itself seemed louder than any conversation. Patti finally broke it. I've spent my life performing on stages where every emotion belongs to the audience. My personal relationships do not. The audience reacted with another round of applause. Joy smiled politely, saying she understood the perspective even if she viewed interviews differently. The discussion continued, but the tension remained just beneath the surface. Mandy gently shifted the focus toward theater, describing how live performances create a unique connection between actors and audiences. He spoke passionately about mentoring younger performers and preserving the traditions of Broadway. The audience listened with admiration. Joy then returned to the earlier subject one final time. If fans continue asking those questions, should public figures simply refuse to answer? Patti paused before speaking. I believe everyone deserves boundaries. Her answer was calm but firm. Mandy nodded. Sometimes saying I'd rather not discuss that is the most respectful answer anyone can give. The audience applauded once more. Joy smiled and thanked both guests for sharing their thoughts. She admitted that interviewers naturally ask questions viewers are curious about, while guests have every right to choose what they wish to discuss. The atmosphere slowly became lighter again. Patti laughed as she recalled a funny backstage story involving a forgotten costume during a Broadway performance many years earlier. The audience burst into laughter. Mandy followed with another humorous memory about accidentally walking onto the wrong stage during an early rehearsal. Even Joy laughed along. The conversation returned to music, theater, and upcoming creative projects. By the end of the interview, everyone stood together for photographs. The audience gave the guests a standing ovation. Although viewers later focused online on the earlier moments of disagreement, many who watched the complete conversation noticed something different. No one shouted. No insults were exchanged. Instead, the discussion highlighted how intelligent people can respectfully disagree while maintaining professionalism. After the episode aired, social media quickly filled with opinions. Some viewers praised Patti for calmly defending personal privacy. Others believed Joy had simply fulfilled her role by asking challenging questions that audiences often wonder about. Many admired Mandy for helping keep the discussion balanced and respectful. Entertainment commentators spent days analyzing the interview. Some described it as a memorable exchange about the responsibilities of journalists and the rights of public figures. Others pointed out that the conversation demonstrated how difficult it can be to balance public curiosity with personal boundaries. The clip continued circulating online, attracting millions of views. Many headlines described the interview with dramatic language, suggesting explosive conflict. However, viewers who watched the full conversation often reached a different conclusion. They saw experienced professionals expressing different opinions without losing respect for one another. In the weeks that followed, Patti returned to the stage. Mandy continued his artistic projects, and Joy remained behind the hosting desk, continuing to ask thoughtful questions of future guests. The interview gradually became remembered not because of dramatic confrontation, but because it sparked meaningful conversations about privacy, journalism, artistic integrity, and respectful disagreement. Long after the headlines faded, many viewers remembered one particular sentence spoken during the discussion. Everyone deserves boundaries. It became the message that resonated most with audiences. The interview served as a reminder that strong opinions do not always require raised voices, and that meaningful conversations often happen when people listen as carefully as they speak. Sometimes the most memorable television moments are not created by arguments or dramatic exits, but by calm conversations that encourage people to think more deeply about respect, honesty, and the importance of understanding another person's point of view.